saum imefaradhishiwa wote ambao ni waumini ili waweze kumcha Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Ya Allah kwetu sisi kufunga mwezi mzima. Hizi ndizo funga somu za mtume ambao walitangulia kabla ya mtume, na pia na funga ya mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam, na funga yetu sisi umati Muhammadin. Basi Mungu atujalie tupate mazuri ya somu.
Na sujudu mbele zako, naomba unisamehe.
Sasa wewe uko na shida ya macho na mwenye anakuwa pia ako na shida ya macho, mtasaidiana aje?
Being the fact that nyinyi wawili hamuoni, mtamanuvaje?
Wewe ambaye ni mlemavu kwa hapo nyumbani, wacha kuona ulemavu wako. Kama kuko na kitu unaweza fanya, tokea tufanye.
Well, once again, a somber mood has engulfed the country. You can see there the former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission chairperson, that is Wafula Chebukati, is dead. And that we can confirm to you authoritatively following his demise at the Nairobi hospital. We have reporters dispatched not only to that particular facility, but to Lee Funeral Home, where leaders are converging there to say their goodbyes to the former IEBC chairperson, as well as to condole with the family. And of course, you do know this was confirmed by the family itself with the former IEBC. He was admitted to a hospital here in the capital, where he had been undergoing treatment for nearly a week. You do know that Chebukati is aged at 64 and of course died at 11 p.m. on Thursday. The former IEBC boss had been admitted for the intensive care unit at the hospital where Chebukati was ailing from a long-time illness, and of course in that particular private facility. Finally, Chebukati also served as the IEBC chair commission, given that he oversaw the 2017 general election as well as the 2022 polls while he was there. And of course, a lot of tributes have been given out, not just by the head of state, but other leaders here in the country. If I can just read some of their condolences to the family. We start off with the head of state, who is the Commander-in-Chief President William Ruto, clearly stated that I have received the news of the passing of the former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission chairperson Wafula Chebukati with profound sorrow. Chebukati was a principled and diligent leader who served the nation with integrity. The president goes on to say in his tribute that his death is a great loss to the country. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family and friends during this difficult time. Rest in peace, Wafula Chebukati. And of course, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, also Musalia Mudavadi, has written his tribute on his X platform, clearly stating that I am deeply saddened by the passing of Wafula Wanyonyi Chebukati, the former chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, a man of integrity and conviction. He dedicated his life to upholding democracy, serving our nation with a diligence and unwavering sense of duty. The Prime Cabinet Secretary also goes on to say that I will always remember him as a man of resilience and wisdom who navigated challenging moments with courage, fairness and unshakable commitment to transparency. His contributions to the electoral governance will remain a lasting inspiration to those who champion justice and good leadership. Beyond this, the public service, he was a devoted family man, and my thoughts are with his loved ones during this difficult time. That is the Prime Cabinet Secretary. Of course, goes on to say as well, the Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka on his X platform, he says that I extend my condolences to the family and friends of former IBC chairperson, that is Wafula Chebukati. My thoughts and prayers are with Mr. Chebukati's family during this moment of sorrow. Also, we do have the Speaker of the National Assembly, that is Moses Masika Wetangula, on his X platform. He has written a tribute clearly stating that, and I quote, "It is with deep sorrow that I extend my heartfelt condolences on the passing of my learned friend Wafula Chebukati, an eminent jurist, steadfast defender of the rule of law, and a dedicated public servant whose contribution to our nation's democratic journey will be remembered for generations to come." Wetangula goes on to say that as an advocate of great repute, Mr. Chebukati embodied the dignity and integrity of the legal profession during his tenure as the chairman of the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission, IBC. He carried out his responsibilities with remarkable courage, fidelity to the Constitution, and an unwavering commitment to justice. Even in the face of immense challenges, he remained resolute, guided by his oath of office and the principles of fairness and transparency. We also have his Senate Speaker counterpart, that is Jeffer Amason Kingi. He goes on to say in his tribute that I join my fellow Kenyans in mourning the passing of the former IBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati, who oversaw fair and transparent elections that have continued to promote the rule of law and governance in Kenya. Jeffer Amason Kingi states that may his soul rest in peace. And of course, the former head of state, that is former President Uhuru Kenyatta, he goes on to say that it is with a deep sadness that I have learned of the passing of Wafula Chebukati, the former chairman of IBC. Throughout his time in office, he played a pivotal role in shaping our nation's electoral landscape, often navigating through intricate challenges with remarkable resilience. My heart goes out to his family, friends and colleagues during this difficult time. May they find strength and solace in cherished memories of the former IBC chairperson. And of course, we're keeping a close eye at the Lee Funeral Home, where we do understand our very own Kevin Washira will be there, and we'll be linking up with him a little bit later on. Leaders are flocking to the Lee Funeral Home to pay their last tributes, not only to the family, but to the late Chebukati himself. And also we'll be telling you about this man, Chebukati, who oversaw 2 elections in this particular country back in 2017 and in 2022. Of course, you do know what happened in 2017. There was a repeat poll. Our very own Giverson Minor will be giving us a little bit of details on who Chebukati was as and when his career started at the Anniversary Towers. Also, we'll continue getting those tributes from not just leaders who are currently congregated at the burial service of the late Mzee Kingi Marura, the father of the Speaker of the Senate, Jeffer Amason Kingi, where the head of state is currently leading that particular service. We'll be linking up with that particular service any moment from now. And finally, our reporter, that is Kevin Washira, is currently at the Lee Funeral Home talking to leaders who have come there to pay their last tribute. When we get those links, we'll be telling you more. Now, to other news, the European Union election mission has raised concerns over what it terms as a slow implementation of recommendation after the 2022 general election. Chief of Mission Ivan Stevanich said that the mission outlined 21 recommendations, 7 of which were termed as priority. However, there is still no tangible progress towards attainment of reforms to ensure transparent, inclusive and peaceful election in 2027. While condoling with Kenyans on the loss of the former IBC chair, Wafula Chebukati, Stefanich regretted that the appointment of the chair and a commission, which was one of the priorities, has not been attained yet in the country, is halfway the electoral cycle.
So, my strong feeling is that understanding of recommendations on Kenyan side is very strong. However, the reality is that after 2.5 years, still we cannot report tangible progress because of not having realized or implemented reforms which we proposed. But still, at the same time, I have to say that still we are in mid of electoral cycle, and still it's time to do. But now it's really like...
Some steps have been taken in relation to improving the situation for the right to stand. So the previous requirement for a degree to stand for the National Assembly is now being aligned in the proposed amendments to the electoral law. So that is a positive step. Additionally, we know that the courts have given the possibility now to the Independent Election Commission, when the Commission is elected, to regulate aspects of campaign finance. And there are also amendment bills before the National Assembly in relation to that. So that's something we're following closely, and it was a key recommendation.
The only issue is the time here, how fast those recommendations will be implemented, because the next elections are just in 2.5 years, and recommendations that require legal reform, they need more time. And recommendations that require administrative actions, they do not need much time, but they need the Electoral Commission in place. So there is a strong connection between time available and when the next elections are.
And now to the corridors of justice, where the case that includes the Meru County Governor, that is Kawira Mwangaza, is currently ongoing at the Milimani Law Court. Given that we're being informed by our very own Ruth Wamboi, is that the Meru Governor has filed 6 issues in which she wants the High Court to determine over her impeachment. Let's listen in to the proceedings of that particular case at the Milimani Law Courts.
We cannot operate like this, Your Lordship. I can't file submissions raising issues, and you simply serve me with a certificate, and you say that is enough. So then the videos that are sought to be produced, in fact, Your Lordship, the ones that have been added are in red, and I'm referring to the certificate by Brian Murithi. The same is dated 27th January, Your Lordship, and equally, Your Lordship, that certificate was served on Tuesday, but is backdated to 27th January, Your Lordship. And it was served on Tuesday. So then what is the fate of my submissions on this issue? Because a certificate is just produced and you're told, yeah, that is enough. Equally, Your Lordship, in these videos... Okay.
Well, that is a case that is including the Meru County Governor Kawira Mwangaza, who has filed 6 issues in which she wants the High Court to determine over her impeachment through her lawyer, that is lawyer Elisha Onyongo, Edgar Musiera and Elias Mutuma, told Justice Bahati Mwamuye that the County Assembly of Meru County proceeded to pass a motion of impeachment when there was a valid court order stopping the same. And of course, our very own, that is Ruth Wamboi, is following up on that particular case that is ongoing at the Milimani Law Courts. Now, to another event that is currently happening in Nyeri County. We're being joined live by our very own, that is Regina Manyara. She informs us there was an MOU that was signed to catapult the capacity building and the recruitment and training of scouts, where the Kenya Scouts are ranked 3rd in the world. Regina, good afternoon. What more can you tell us about this MOU that was signed in that devolved unit?
Well, good afternoon, Hashim. Indeed, we're coming to you live from Nyeri County. This is the Baden Power Pack. And today, several things have happened in the better part of the morning. We've had scouts who have also attained a level of training that we're going to get into the details of as I introduce my guest, who is just going to give us a sneak peek of why today is quite important when it comes to matters of scouting in the country. This morning, Nyeri County entered into a partnership with the Kenya Scouts Association with one goal in mind. This is to make Nyeri County the city of Scouts. What does this mean? It opens up the county to international Scouts, international Scouts activities, and is also going to bring in tourists here. But to give us more an in-depth look into why this is quite important in terms of building capacities, none other than the Chief Commissioner, Kenya Scouts Association, Victor Radido. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
So why was this MOU important to build capacity when it comes to the scouting movement in Kenya?
Thank you very much. Must first of all say that this has been a long-awaited day, and today is a very significant day, as in the Kenya Scouts Association, together with the county government of Nyeri, have come up together and signed a memorandum of understanding which will give a clear way on how scouting will be run right from Nyeri to the rest of the world. As you're aware, and you've said it very well, that Nyeri has been considered the city of scouting in the world. But this has not been, effected in terms of putting it to the city status. So the MOU emphasizes more so on what can be done to make Nyeri attract international visitors. As you're aware, for some time we have been having a Founders Day or a Foundery, attracting more than 20,000 international visitors. At some point, this could not be realized because we did observe and notice that a number of facilities that we are having in Nyeri cannot contain these international visitors. So the MOU will basically help the association together with Nyeri to uplift the standard of the facilities that we have in this county of Nyeri. And if this is implemented fully, I can assure you that Nyeri as a county, leave alone scouting, will have to gain in terms of, getting revenue whenever we are having some of these international visitors. Besides this, we'll also be empowering our scout leaders. As you are aware today, we have been able to conduct an exercise that is known as awarding of the bids to the qualified scout leaders and the commissioners. So part of the MOU will also constitute supporting a number of leaders within Nyeri in terms of capacity building, in terms of the growth of young people, in terms of making these young people realize their dreams. And this can only be well achieved through the implementation of this MOU.
Very well said, Hashim. As you've heard, this is just a precursor to tomorrow's Foundery. This year's theme is about working with community to build resilience with a keen focus on climate change. We'll be keeping tabs on what is happening within the county. We also understand that the Girl Guides Association is also here in Nyeri, and this move of having the MOU with the Kenya Scouts Association means that not only are we going to be looking at the local calendar when it comes to matters of scouting, but also that this is going to be an integral part of an international calendar, a calendar of events opening up Nyeri and also continuing to put Kenya on the map. Back to you, Broadcasting House.
Well, thank you so much. That is our very own Regina Manyara just informing us on the MOU that the county government of Nyeri as well as the Kenya Scouts Association have been able to sign them. It is about capacity building in that particular and training of scouts in that devolved unit. She'll give us more in our subsequent bulletins. Let's come back here to the capital, where police in Kayole have arrested 2 suspects caught transporting 25 kilograms of bang along the eastern bypass. Now, Njiru Sub-County Police Commander John Worth confirmed the incident, stating that the officers intercepted a silver Toyota NZE at Mihango during a routine check. Upon stopping the vehicle, police discovered the illicit consignment hidden inside. The suspects, identified as John Ochieng and Peter Ndogomongai, are currently in police custody and are expected to be charged with drug trafficking.
Tunaeleza watu wetu watupatie sisi kama polisi habari kwa vitu wakiona zinakaa sio sawa, kwa sababu bangi inaumiza akili ya watoto wetu, wanakuwa sombi, na inasemekana kwamba ukivuta bangi inakaa kwa mwili karibu miaka 10. So watusaidie, tuzuie watoto wetu wasijiingize kwa hii matatizo ya kuvuta bangi.
Elsewhere, a non-governmental organization in Kuria, Migori County has cautioned parents who subjected their girls to female genital mutilation (FGM) that they risk losing out on education bursaries. During the issuance of the checks to guardians at the Kehancha Deputy County Commissioner's Office, the Kiria Foundation partner, Omahe Muita, noted that girls continue to face challenges of FGM that has become a hindrance in pursuing their education dreams. Sentiments echoed by the Kuria West Deputy County Commissioner Andrew Muiti, who added that a section of girls who undergo FGM later drop out of school to get married.
Lakini wao wanafuata sharti moja kubwa, hasa wakikike, ni kwamba ukeketaji utaisha. Ile ikiwa watakuwa wanafanya kama sasa hivi, wale ambao tumegundua kwamba wamefanya ukeketaji, utabidi tusimamishe msaada wao, kwa sababu ikiwa nia yetu ni kupigana na uteketaji wa kina wasichana, na bado wako watu ambao wanapokea hela za kutoka kwa shirika na bado wanatendeleza hivyo, hiyo hatakuwa vizuri. Wale ambao wamesaidika, wanafunzi, letu ni kusema waweke bidii.
Homa Bay County, in collaboration with the Habitat for Humanity Kenya, has unveiled an advanced land information management system. The initiative aims to streamline land ownership processes and enhance transparency in land transaction by providing residents with easy access to information about their land status. During the launch, Homa Bay County Governor, that is Gladys Wanga, highlighted that the system will help address long-standing land disputes by ensuring proper documentation and record-keeping in accordance with the national land policies.
As Homa Bay County, we are very grateful to Habitat for Humanity for supporting this very important aspect of our work. We have done the valuation role, as many of you know, and it is currently in the Assembly awaiting finalization. But having land that is not digitized is cumbersome, both for us as a county government to follow up on revenue management, and also for the people of Homa Bay who want to know the status of their land.
So far, we have managed to digitize 9 wards, 9 towns, and hoping that in the near future we are going to be able to even digitize the rest of the remaining parcels.
Kwale County Government has launched a multi-billion shilling water project aimed at addressing the recurring water shortages in Diani, a popular tourist town. The initiative will provide clean drinking water to more than 200,000 local residents and visitors. The 1.4 billion shillings Ukunda water supply project, funded by the World Bank and implemented by Kwale Water and Sewerage Company, is expected to end water shortages in Ukunda, Diani, Tiwi and checkpoint areas of Matuga sub-county.
We intend to introduce approximately 9,200 meter cubic per day. That is 9.2 million liters of water every day to this area to bridge the water gap that is there.
Kwa hivyo mradi umeendelea vizuri. Hapa tuko kama almost 60% done. Tunatarajia ya kwamba kufikia mwezi wa Julai tutaweza kumaliza kazi hii. Boreholes, visima iwe equipped, zile operator houses ziwe zimekamilika, na kufikia mwezi wa 10 tutaweza kusupply maji sehemu ya Ukunda, Tiwi, Kombani mpaka checkpoint.
22 minutes past the hour. We need to take our first commercial break here on KBC's Lunchtime News, but we're still keeping an eye on our top story this afternoon. It's all about the former Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission IBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati, and of course tributes continue to flow in as we try to link up with our reporter Kevin Washira, who is currently at the Leaf Funeral Home, given that leaders and other Kenyans are flocking to that particular facility to pay their last tributes to the family as well as to the former IBC chairperson Wafula Wafula Chebukati, who was confirmed dead at a Nairobi hospital. We have that and so much more on the other side, so don't go too far.
Kenya's Harambee Starlets will play against Tunisia in their 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations qualifier first leg fixture this Friday, 21st February 2025 at Ulinzi Sports Complex in Langata, Nairobi. Kickoff time is at 3 p.m.
It's Nanjala! Nanjala!
Don't miss this encounter live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1. Your true sports partner.
Ticket you gave me. Ah?
Why didn't you give me the ticket? Something came up, so Shengyang couldn't make it. He sent me here to accompany you. Do you really think I'm willing to come here?
Then you can leave.
Who are you?
Who are you?
This is my wife.
Wife?
The world of governance is vast and can be alien to the ordinary man on the street.
Critical issues are going to be discussed.
From white papers to policy positions, it is easier to get lost in the labyrinth of words.
Inside Government takes you to key global metropolis where critical decisions are made and where policies are crafted.
We interview policymakers and senior government officials to highlight and enumerate government policies and projects. We take a deep dive into the underbelly of complex red tape to demystify policies across the country, across the world. Join me, O'Brien Kimani, on Inside Government, only on KBC Channel 1.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, the Kenya Tea Development Agency directors drawn from the west of Rift region have raised concerns over the absorption of tea at the Mombasa auction. Speaking in Kericho during a meeting to discuss the current market dynamics in the tea sector, the directors claimed their products are not fetching competitive prices at the auction despite their improved quality.
The prices that this tea is fetching is not pleasing at all. So we are calling upon the KTDA management services to up their game and make sure they sell up to 80% of the tea that we have given them to process and sell for us. And also to make sure that they sell this tea at a price above the cost of production.
The East is not different from the West, or the West is not different from the East. We produce quality tea, and the government should look into it and assist us by bringing about the scientific testing.
Gravid mothers in Moiben, Kuswero ward in Elgeyo Marakwet County will now have access to improved maternal health that will provide a safe and nurturing environment courtesy of the newly launched Mother and Baby Unit. Speaking during the official opening of the unit in the Chebukati Sub-County Hospital, area residents hailed the initiative, citing that they will no longer need to travel for longer distances to access maternity services. The facility was constructed by the county government in partnership with the Finnish Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Kitambo nafasi ilikuwa kidogo kwa facility yetu. Unakuta hata wamama wanashare kitanda moja, lakini leo tunafurahi sababu tumepata facility kubwa ambayo itaweza kutosha wote.
Fungua Mother and Baby Unit ambayo ni modern, ambayo iko na kila kitu kwa hiyo hospitali na ya kisasa ambayo pia imetoka huko nchi za ng'ambo, Austria na Finland, na sasa inaonekana ya kwamba hapa Chebiem itakuwa hospitali kubwa zaidi.
Now, a quick look at what is happening in other devolved unit. Police officers from Diani police station have nabbed 32 bundles of bang valued at 480,000 shillings, which was being ferried from Uganda to Kitengela. Details of this and other stories making headlines across the devolved units is in our news roundup.
Londiani Sub-County Police Commander Agnes Kunga said they received information from members of the public that a saloon car with registration number KCB 016J was ferrying the narcotic. The police officers from Londiani Police Station immediately responded and intercepted the vehicle at Chipsion Complex.
And because the driver was driving very fast, they had to deflate the tires in order to be able to operate the same vehicle. The car had 4 occupants. 3 out of 4 were able to jump out of the car and they disappeared in the desert. But lucky enough, they were able to apprehend one Kipsingis female who was in the vehicle.
In Garariga, Baraka, and Joguini areas of Laikipia County, residents resumed the operation of driving away more than 10 elephants that invaded their homes last night from the Hewani military farm in Nanyuki. Wildlife officials helped with the exercise and urged citizens to be careful when they encounter wildlife.
Siku ya leo tuko na huzuni sana. Manake tumekuwa tukipigana na ndovu, tukiwindana na ndovu from saa 8 za usiku. Na hata saa hii tunasema ya kwamba tumekibizana na hizo ndovu na mwisho zimeweza kuingia katika ishaba ya Air Force.
In Migori County, members of the County Assembly now want Governor Ochilo Ayako's administration to release the findings of a human resource audit that was conducted 2 years ago.
Public money was used to do the vetting of the issue of ghost workers. Close to 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I rose to this house and asked that can we have the report that was done on matters of ghost workers.
In Kakamega, a local businessman, Boniface Ngashira, has organized a free medical camp to help fight Jiga infection.
Angetoa wito kwa Wizara ya Afya iwe pia inatupatia support haswa kama hizi dawa ambazo zinatumika, kama wanaweza kutuelekeza, kutusaidia nazo na watuelekeze namna ya kuzitumia. Pia tuko kwa nafasi nzuri ya kufikia hawa wanafunzi pamoja na wazazi wao.
At the same time, Kakamega County General Hospital is leading efforts to improve respiratory health in the region through a new partnership with Kenyatta National Hospital and the Respiratory Society of Kenya to do surgeries on patients. The collaboration, which includes a 2-day surgery workshop, aims to address the lung health issues, particularly among the mining communities in Shinyalu and Ikolomani.
We have equipment, we service the equipment, we are buying medication so that this kind of medication can take place within. We might think that this kind of treatment is not taking place, but with them now, the public is able to know that this type of treatment can take place in Kakamega, not necessarily referring our patients.
Now let's get down to business. Kenya is in talks with Rwanda and other East African countries over importation of petroleum products in a strategic deal to utilize infrastructure in the country. Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi says already Kenya Pipeline Company has invested in a 1.3 billion shillings an additional pump at Ngema Pump Station in Nakuru County that is expected to enhance pumping of fuel to Western Kenya and other East African countries.
Pumping station has officially been commissioned at Ngema Pumping Station in Nakuru County.
that is expected to increase fuel flow rate from 330 cubic meters per hour to 510 cubic meters per hour on the 14-inch Western Kenya pipeline. Energy Cabinet Secretary Opiyo Wandayi says the additional capacity is part of the expansion strategy aimed at increasing fuel exports to the East African region. Kenya has restarted talks with Rwanda about fuel imports through the country. Kenya is also keen on making Kisumu a regional petroleum hub that will service countries in the Eastern and Central African regions. Phase 3 of the expansion will see construction of an additional pumping station at Morendat, Naivasha, and Sinendet in the next 4 years to increase capacity flowing to Western Kenya to 757 cubic meters per hour.
Elsewhere, the government is exploring ways to reduce the cost of certified seeds for staples such as maize as a way of reducing the cost of food production. Agriculture Principal Secretary Paul Rono says that talks have been initiated with the seed companies targeting to have the issue tackled as soon as possible. Rono was speaking in Kericho during the unveiling of 210 youth agripreneurs who will train farmers on modern farming practices.
Through the CS, we are sitting down with Kenya Seeds and all the seed providers to make sure that we bring the price to a manageable, affordable level within the next 2 weeks. For the basic, we have had you. Our expectation in the department as we lead this process with the entrepreneurs is that we will release you today to go and work with.
The government has been urged to integrate aquaculture education into school curriculums with the aim of fostering a new generation of young skilled farmers who can drive the future of sustainable fish farming. Advancing Resilient Nutrition Sensitivity Aquaculture Project Coordinator and Executive Committee member of Vihiga, Nicholas Kitungulu, says early education in aquaculture could play a vital role in addressing food security, creating job opportunities and ensuring the long-term success of the industry.
Aquaculture, which involves farming aquatic organisms such as fish, shellfish and seaweed, is increasingly seen as a solution to the growing pressure on wild fish stocks. With the expansion of the global population, the demand for protein-rich, sustainably sourced food is growing. Experts argue that integrating aquaculture into schools can help equip future generations with the necessary skills and knowledge to meet this demand, while also promoting environmentally responsible practices.
If we can have, if we can support our farmers on how to produce locally made feeds for our animals and for fish, then this accessibility will be a thing of the past. The program can be able to pick up.
Vihiga County is set to benefit from Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation funded Advancing Resilient Nutrition Sensitivity Aquaculture Project, as 450 fish farmers and 2 secondary schools in the region are set to receive fingerlings and fish seeds.
The farmer feels overburdened with the cost of feeds. So if we can be able to have engaged farmers on how they can produce feed for this feed for fish and for other livestock, because mostly what the fish feed on, you'll find that also the poultry sector can also be able to.
In addition, the farmers will be connected to existing markets, giving them access to better sales opportunities for their fish. Frederick Muki for Lunchtime News.
Now here is the latest in the world of sports. All roads will lead to the Ulinzi Sports Complex this afternoon, where Harambee Starlets take on Tunisia in the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations qualifiers at 3 p.m. The match will be broadcasted live on KBC Channel 1 and affiliate radio stations Idhaa ya Taifa, Minto, Vihiga, Pwani FM, Ngemi and Ingo. In the meantime, Gor Mahia could only collect another point against the Bidco, who held them to a barren draw in the FKF Premier League matches played yesterday, as focus turns to the Mozart Bet Cup this weekend. Paul Kinyanjui scored the lone goal in added time to give Mathare United a 1-0 victory over Kenya Police in another match. Kenya Police still lead the FKF Premier League standings with 41 points, followed by Tusker with 39, while Gor Mahia, who were held to another goalless draw by the Brewers over the weekend, are third with 36 points. Meanwhile, the 2025 East African Local Authorities Cultural Association Games will take place from the 23rd to the 28th of February in Kampala, Uganda. Team Kenya has been training in Busia County in preparation for the games, which will feature a wide range of sports, including tug of war, football, netball, volleyball, basketball, handball, table tennis and badminton. The other nations which have confirmed their participation include Burundi, Rwanda and a host Uganda. The East African Local Authorities Cultural Association Games aims to promote regional unity through sports and cultural exchange. Elsewhere, the national sevens rugby team Shujaa will kick off their campaign in Vancouver Sevens tomorrow, where they are determined to improve on their ranking after 3 rounds in Dubai, Cape Town and Perth. The 3-day event will start with the pool matches, but Shujaa will take to the field on Saturday against Argentina before they face France and Great Britain in their quest for the main cup quarter-final berth. The Kenyan team is currently in 9th position at the playoff zone with 14 points in the standings, led by Fiji, who are level on 48 points with Argentina and Spain heading into the 4th round of the 2025 HSBC 7 Series. The Kenya men's basketball team will start their campaign this afternoon in the FIBA Afrobasket qualifiers, which are taking place in Tripoli and in Libya for the next 2 days. The Kenya Morans will face the 2021 Afrobasket champion Tunisia in their opening Group E match today after the group phase match between Guinea and Angola. The Kenyan team is looking forward to a repeat of their previous performance that saw them qualify for the 2021 Afrobasket and will rely on players like Tylo Ngwai and Tom Wamukota, Albert Odero, among others, to get the job done in Tripoli. They will also face 11-time Afrobasket champions, that is Angola, before they will complete their group assignment against winless Guinea, whom they beat in the previous qualifiers. The teams are battling for the spot in the 2025 FIBA Afrobasket slated for Angola from the 12th to the 24th of August this year.
Possession arrow favouring Guinea, but the pass is not a very good one. And a chance for...
And in Europe, Paulo Dybala's brace helped Roma get the better of Porto and beat them 3-2 at the Stadio Olimpico last night to qualify for the UEFA Europa League last 16 on a 4-3 aggregate. Samu Omordema struck the Porto in the 27th minute before...
In the end went down, no free kick given as Mokio came to challenge. It's a good follow-up there by Machida.
That is all we had for you this afternoon, but revisiting our top story this afternoon, it's all about the former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission chairperson, Wafula Chebukati, who has passed on at the age of 64 at exactly 11 p.m. on a Thursday. The former IEBC chair was admitted to the intensive care unit at the hospital, and Chebukati was ailing from, still remains private, given that the family has clearly stated what the leader was suffering suffering from cannot be divulged to the public. It is a private affairs of the family. Chebukati, of course, you do know, spearheaded anniversary towers in 2 elections back in 2017 and in 2022. Now, quick tributes from the leaders, including the head of state, who has condoled with the former IBC chair family. That is that I have received the news of the passing of the former Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati with profound sorrow. The head of state goes on to say that Chebukati was a principled and a diligent leader who served the nation with integrity. His death is a great loss to the country. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family and friends during this difficult time. Rest in peace. That is the head of state who has condoled not only with the family members, relatives and friends of the family, as well as the country at large. Now let's head over to the Speaker of the National Assembly, that is Moses Masika Wetangula, who clearly states in his tribute that it is with a deep sorrow that I extend my heartfelt condolences on the passing of my learned friend, that is Wafula Chebukati, an eminent jurist, steadfast defender of the rule of law, and a dedicated public servant whose contributions to our nation's democratic journey will be remembered for generations to come. As an advocate of the great repute, Mr. Chebukati embodied the dignity and integrity of the legal profession during his tenure as a chairman of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. He carried out his responsibilities with remarkable courage, fidelity to the Constitution, and an unwavering commitment to justice, even in the face of immense challenges. And he remained resolute, guided by his oath of office and the principles of fairness and transparency. Of course, clearly stating that he was an advocate of great repute. His passing is profound loss not only to his family but also to the legal fraternity, the electoral governance space here in the country. Now that is the Prime Cabinet Secretary, that is Musalia Mudavadi. He goes on to say as well that I am deeply saddened by the passing of Wafula Wanyonyi Chebukati, the former chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IBC, a man of integrity and conviction. He dedicated his life to upholding democracy, serving our nation with a diligence and an unwavering sense of duty. I will always remember him as a man of resilience and wisdom who navigated challenging moments with courage, fairness, and unshakable commitment to transparency. His contribution to the electoral governance will remain a lasting inspiration to those who champion justice and good leadership. Beyond his public service, he was a devoted family man, and my thoughts are with his loved ones during this difficult time. May his soul rest in peace. Those are some of the tributes we have received so far in terms of condolences of the former IBC chair. I also informed you our various reporters are also following up on this particular story. We do have Kevin Washira, who camped for the better part of this particular day at the Lee Funeral Home, talking to the leaders and some of the family members of the late Chebukati. Also, our very own Giverson Minor, who will be giving us later on a brief history of who Chebukati was and during his tenure at the anniversary towers in 2017 and 2022. That's it from our end. My name is Abdiaziz Hashim. The sign language interpreter at the bottom end of the screen is Ann Wangeshi. Good afternoon for now.
Hello and welcome to the 77% show. My name is Edith Kimani, and this week we're coming to you from Kenya's capital and one of the country's culture hubs, Nairobi. On this special edition show, we'll meet young people from all over the continent who've dedicated themselves to improving our lives. Passionate musicians, dancers, and all-around creatives. Here's what we've lined up for you. We get to see the bigger-than-life sculptures of Nigerian artist Dotun Popola. We hear the sounds of Congo through special custom-made instruments. And in Kigali, Rwanda, we meet breakdancing pioneers who teach us a move or two. As mentioned earlier, Nairobi is a hub for creatives, and it's become a backdrop for young talents creating content for their viewers. So we'll be speaking to some of them later, but first, let's take a little detour to the Nigerian town of Ile-Ife, where Dotun Popola, a true master of his craft, resides. The Nigerian sculptor comes from a long line of blacksmiths and keeps with